Yes. Hello, good evening everyone. Hello. Diffraction. Diffraction, already I explained. Diffraction is nothing but bending of light at corners. Okay, what will happen when diffraction takes place? Light will enter into the shadow region. Like these are the slits. So what will happen means actually when light is traveling in the straight direction, it will become bright and remaining it will become shadow parts. But light having one of the nature at corners it will bend. So when it is bending, it will enter into the dark region. So that is nothing but diffraction. Okay, now see the types of diffraction.
Sir, I didn't understand, sir. Can you like give like a definition or something?
Yeah, diffraction means bending of light at the corners. Okay, light having one of the nature that it will bend at the corners of the obstacle. Kushik, hello?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand? Light bends at the corners. You can see that type of things in our daily life even when light is bending. See, any object when you are taking, take a round shape object. When you are seeing, you can see that light will spread like this. Did you see this type of thing? Actually, white light, it will touch here. After touching here, it will bend like this. It bends at the corners. Then this is called diffraction. Diffraction means light will bend at the corners. So how I explain, like if you take a slit, it is the slit. When you are taking slit, see once, if light is traveling in the straight direction, remember, light goes like this and it will come. So if light is traveling in the straight direction, it will happen like this. It will be the bright remaining are shadow regions. But what will happen at the corners, light will bend. It will bend. Once if it is bend, what will happen? It will enter into the shadow region. First it is a shadow region, dark region. But once it is bend, what will happen means light will enter into the shadow region. So here also light can bend. Once if it is bend, it will enter into the shadow region. This bending of light enter into the shadow region is nothing but diffraction. The bending of light at the corners and enters into the dark region or shadow region is nothing but diffraction. Kushi, clear?
Yes, sir.
Now diffraction types. Fresnel diffraction. Fraunhofer diffraction. Fresnel diffraction and Fraunhofer diffraction. Types of diffractions. One is Fresnel diffraction. Second one is Fraunhofer diffraction. Fresnel diffraction. What is the Fresnel diffraction? The distance between source and here how they have divided this into two parts. It is basing on the source, the distance between the source and screen is finite. Means we can find where it is. There is a finite distance, not infinite. There is a finite distance between source. Source means light source. Source and screen. In the Fraunhofer diffraction, the distance between source of light and screen is infinite. In our lesson, they didn't give the Fresnel diffraction. They have given Fraunhofer. We will discuss only about this. But you should know that there are two types of diffractions. One is Fresnel diffraction. Second one is Fraunhofer diffraction. Fresnel diffraction and Fraunhofer diffraction, they have divided. How they have divided? Basing on the distance between the source and screen is finite. That is finite means we know what is the distance between source and screen. Here it is infinite. Here what will happen means central bright spot. Central point or central point can form bright or dark fringe, or dark band, a dark spot. In the Fresnel diffraction, central point can form bright or dark spot. Spot or fringe. Hello?
Sir, is that dark spot, sir?
Dark spot or dark fringe or dark band we can call. Okay. Here the central point can form only bright spot. Thank you, sir. Bright spot or bright fringe. Bright fringe. Here we don't use any lens to get diffraction, to form diffraction or to get different, to form diffraction. Here We will use lenses to form diffraction. Write that. To form diffraction. So the type of thing. Now, remember these 3 points, which are differences between Fraunhofer and Fresnel. Actually, in our syllabus, they have given Fraunhofer diffraction. Now we are going to get that. Here, central spot is always bright. After that, maxima, minima. First maxima, second maxima, first minima, second minima. So maxima, minima, diffractions, spots, fringes we can get here. Here, center can be positive or center can be bright or dark. Anything can happen, but here always bright. Once bright happen, here first minima, second minima. So maximum, minimum, we can find like that. Always bright at the center. Write that. Now see the diagram of diffraction, Fraunhofer diffraction. Any doubt, Kushi? Hello?
No, sir.
Clear, right? How many types of diffractions are? Diffraction is, what is the diffraction? Diffraction is nothing but bending of light at the corners. Okay. So you should remember the wavelength of the light and obstacle size. If both are nearly equal to each other, then diffraction takes place. Remember just. And diffraction types, these are the 2 types. In our syllabus, they have given Fraunhofer. But what is the Fresnel means? These are the things, are the differences between Fraunhofer and Fresnel diffraction. Yes, sir. Now see the Fresnel diffraction. Sorry, Fraunhofer diffraction. Let's see. Construction. Fraunhofer type.
Sir, what is it, sir? Cannot see because the light is falling on top.
Fraunhofer type single slit diffraction. Now diffraction due to single slit. Diffraction due to single slit. But we are using Fraunhofer. In the Fraunhofer, to show the diffraction, what are the conditions are there? Fraunhofer, what will happen? What is the distance between the screen and the source? Hello? Hello? Anjali? Anjali?
Yes, sir.
In the Fraunhofer diffraction, what is the distance between source and screen?
Infinite.
Yes. Here we will use lenses to get the diffraction.
Sir?
Here, can we use lenses to get diffraction or?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to get diffraction here, we have to use the lenses. Now consider it is the planar source. It is the planar source. W dash is the planar source. Source which is passing through the lenses. Then we made like these rays are coming parallel to each other. Here, what I'm taking, once if it is touched, this planar source, once if it is touched, there will be a disturbance. Otherwise, we can say, let's see. Each and every point on the,
Sir,
tell me, ma.
sir, what is WW dash?
It is the planar source, one of the planar source. Plane source. It is looking like a plane source, right? Planar
Okay.
source means planar wavefront. Because when we are seeing from far distance, it looks like a planar source, not spherical source, not cylindrical. It looks like a planar source. Now the planar source is coming. The distance between the slits, slit A, slit B. The distance between the slits is D. Now what will happen? Each and every point on the planar source, each and every point on the wavefront acts as a secondary wavefront, right? Hello. Hello. Kushi?
Yes, sir.
Each and every point on the planar source acts as a secondary source, right?
Yes, sir.
Now you have to imagine this is the situation here. What is happening here? Let's see. It is A and it is B. So at this point, after disturbance, after waves will form like this. It will move like this because there is a diffraction. At this edge, waves will be in this direction like this. Due to this point source, it is the source is a point now. So wavefronts will be spherical wavefronts. It is also point source. So waves are spherical waves. So if you want to show the planar source, feel like one ray is like this. Here also one ray will be in this direction. And here, these two, if it is one, it is also one. One wave at this point, one more ray, if you draw like this, it is two. Here also you can draw one more ray that is like this. So these are the pairs. How many lines we will draw? Rays. Here we are thinking concept according to ray optics and according to wave optics. Here when I consider the point source, I have considered like a wave optics. Now if you draw tangents, if you add the each and every tangent, it will form a one of the ray. Here also it will form one of the ray. Here also one ray. So what will happen means two rays. This ray and this ray will be parallel. This ray will be parallel. It meet at somewhere. At infinity, that rays will meet. So if for each and everything here, alternate one more will be there. So due to this point, waves will produce. Due to these points, waves will produce. So the tangents, if you draw pair, rays will appears like a pairs. So here what will happen means waves will form. So that waves, when you are drawing the, if you combine the tangents of each and every wave, one ray you can see. Hello? Okay, now see. What will happen means here we will take one more lens. One more lens we will take. Actual, it is the screen. It is our screen. Hello? Hello? Kushi?
Yes, sir.
Kushi, did you understand what are these? These are the
Point source.
point sources. So each and every point source is acts as a, it gives the one of the spherical wave, right? So here also spherical waves we will get, here also spherical waves we will get. So here whatever the lines like rays are coming, light rays, these are pairs, 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4, like that. So many. If you draw one more line here, you will get one more line here. Again, if it is 3, it is 3. So finally parallel, it will become parallel, but pairs will be there. Okay, let's see now. One more lens we have to use here. It is called central bright spot. So what we have to take, it will bend. We know that this rays will bend. So once if it is bent, feel like one of the ray making angle theta with this, and it is bent, and one more, this ray making angle theta with this line, and it is passing through the lens and it is converging here. From here also one of the ray, again it will meet here. Because here we know that pairs will be there, not only single. When I have taken 3 rays, for 3 rays, if it is bend, if you take like a spherical waves, one more rays will be there. That rays, it is the maximum, it is the bright spot. Here one more will form minima, first minima, secondary minima, and first maxima, secondary maxima also can form. So maxima minimas will form in the diffraction that are different from the Young's double slit experiment fringes. Let's see. Here anybody has any doubt? Bhanu Prasad? Bhanu Prasad?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt, Bhanu Prasad?
No, sir.
So what will happen means this light, so many light rays will be there. If you take a point, from this point, so many light rays will be there. You can write so many lines. These are pairs. Here also, these 3 rays will travel same distance. This line, how much distance it will travel? This line also will travel same distance. Even this line also will travel same distance. And all rays will meet at one point. So it is called bright. But here, how much distance it will travel? Same distance it won't travel. So definitely there will be a destructive interference. Here it is constructive interference. Phase difference here how much? 0. No phase difference. So constructive interference. Constructive interference gives bright spot. Destructive interference gives dark spot. Okay. Let's see. Here S is the source, monochromatic light source. Wavelength lambda. Passing through the lens. Take it is the L1 lens. We made as like these rays, whatever the light rays are coming from the source, we made like to pass in the parallelly to each other. It is lens 2. To get the diffraction, according to Fraunhofer, we have to use the lenses. Middle rays, these rays when it is passing, how much distance it will travel, same distance even it will travel. But these rays are not like that. So it is the bright. Here we will get minimas also. Let's see what we are going to discuss here. Central maxima. Central maxima. When central maximum will form, where the central maximum will form, we have to discuss here. Secondary minima. Secondary minima. Minimas. Secondary minimas we can. Secondary maximas also. First, already centrally there is a bright. So one more, if we get anything bright, that will become secondary. Secondary maximas. When secondary maximas will form, when secondary minimas will form, and central maxima already we will get, because in the Fraunhofer diffraction, central spot is always bright. So central maxima, that is. Now to get the secondary minimas, let's see, because central is always bright. Okay, so no need to discuss how much distance this line will travel, same distance even this, same distance even this will travel. So all three rays will meet at a point at same time. So definitely there is a bright. So bright fringe is nothing but constructive interference will happen. So bright spot we got. And this minimas, now we are going to, so here in the Fraunhofer diffraction, what we have to discuss? We have to discuss about central maxima, secondary minimas, secondary maximas. Now I'm going to discuss about secondary minimas. After I will discuss about secondary maximas. That is nothing but a Fraunhofer diffraction due to single slit. We can complete clearly. Okay, let's see now. Secondary minimas. Secondary minimas. Hello, Banu Prasad.
Sir,
Hello. What we are going to discuss in the Fraunhofer single slit diffraction?
central maxima,
Central
secondary-
maxima.
secondary maxima, and secondary minimum.
Okay, so now first I'm going to discuss about secondary minimas. Why central maxima? Because in the Fraunhofer diffraction, always center is bright spot only. Okay, see the secondary minima. To discuss this, what I will take, the path difference between A and B. I'm going to calculate what is the path difference, because minima, definitely there will be a path difference. So now I'm going to calculate path difference. To calculate that, I have drawn one of the line, perpendicular line, because same thing we did in the Young's double slit experiment. Okay, so take it is some n. So here we know that it is theta. If it is theta, we know that it is 90 minus theta, because it is 90. So once if it is 90, here obviously it will become theta here. So from there, sine theta equal to opposite side Bn by hypotenuse is nothing but D. So from here Bn equal to D sine theta. It is the path difference. It is the path difference. Clear here? Kushi?
Yes, sir.
Understand clearly?
Yes, sir. So the screen is becoming blur again and again, sir.
Okay. Banu Prasad?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any doubt here?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So we got path difference is this much. That's what we have calculated. Now for a minima purpose, A, for minima, I'm going to calculate the minima for minima. If path difference is equal to one wavelength, if path difference is equal to 1 lambda. If path difference equal to 1 lambda, then we will get the minima. Path difference, there is a path difference between this A and B, that is 1 lambda. When we are taking, we will get the minima. That is nothing but Bn equal to d sine theta equal to lambda. So here, if we take it is the theta 1. So sine theta 1 equal to lambda by d. Sine theta 1 equal to lambda by d. Theta is very small. If theta is very small, then theta 1 equal to lambda by d. So if you want to get the for minima, when will you get minima means path difference. Whatever the path difference is there between A and B, it should be equal to 1 lambda. If it is equal to 1 lambda, then we can find out path difference. Now see, if you consider here, take it is one of the C. Now it will become d by 2. It will become d by 2. That means AC equal to d by 2 and CB equal to d by 2. Now if it is lambda, here if it is lambda, it will become how much? It will become how much? It is d by 2. It is d by 2. If it is lambda, it will become how much? Hello, Banu Prasad? Hello, Banu Prasad?
Sir.
See once, base proportionality theorem, do you have idea? Base proportionality theorem, suppose if it is d by 2, it is lambda, means this total I have divided into two parts. Total d I
Sir,
divide
theta
into
is equal to lambda by what, sir? The last line.
lambda by d. It is theta equal to lambda by d. Nothing. Sin theta 1. Theta is very small, so theta 1 equal to lambda by d. That's all. Banu Prasad?
Sir.
See, clearly try to understand. It is lambda, right? We have taken lambda. Path difference between A and B is lambda we have taken, okay?
Yes, sir.
So total distance I divide into two equal parts. It is d by 2. It is d by 2. If it is lambda, then how much it will become? It will become what? According to Bayes proportionality theorem, it will become
Lambda by 2, sir.
yes, it will become lambda by 2 according to Bayes proportionality theorem. Keep in mind, because we divide into two parts, that is. Did you write this? lambda by 2, lambda by 2. So lambda total. It is the minima, first minima. Now second minima. See once, second minima. B, second minima. Second minima. That is nothing but B. So second minima is nothing but, let's see. In the second minima, I will take path difference Bn equal to d sine theta equal to 2 lambda. I'm going to take path difference is 2 lambda. So it is 2 lambda. Now this AC I will divide into 4 equal parts. AC I will divide into 4 equal parts. AB. This AB I'm going to divide into 4 equal parts. One, something here C and here D. AC. AC 1 equal part, CD 1 and DB 1. Again, each and everything will become lambda by 2. 4 equal parts when I am dividing, each and everything will become lambda by 2 because this I have taken as a 2 lambda. So sine, it is theta. Sine theta 2 equal to 2 lambda by d. If theta 2 is very small, then theta 2 equal to 2 lambda by d. 2 lambda by d. So similarly, nth minima is nothing but d sine theta n equal to n lambda. From this theta n equal to n lambda by d. It is the nth minima. Nth minima in, that is the minima. So we have calculated secondary minimas. There n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. N equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Clear? One pressure?
Sir, lambda is phase difference, sir, here.
Path difference only.
Path difference.
Path difference. It is path difference, right? We calculated. If the path difference, sorry, if it is the path difference, so the path difference equal to 2 lambda, you will get the second minima. If path difference equal to 1 lambda, you will get the first minima. If you want to get nth minima means path difference should be n lambda. So substitute in n place 1, 2, 3, 4 on first minima, second minima, third minima, fourth minima, like that. Nth minima you will get. Kushi?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt, Kushi?
No, sir.
So minima formula, if you want to discuss, just we have to write here from here sine theta. So that sine theta gives the path difference. It is the path difference now. From here path difference, if you want to get first minima, lambda, path difference equal to lambda, second minima 2 lambda, nth minima n lambda. That's all. You will get that. Likita,
Sir?
any doubt?
No, sir.
Next, we are going to calculate a secondary maxima. Already central is the bright spot, that is maxima only. We are going to get second maxima. Let's see. Maxima, secondary maxima. If condition, if when it will become maxima, if path difference, when we are taking the path difference, that path difference is if bn equal to d sine theta, it is a path difference. So if path difference is equal to odd multiple of path difference is odd multiple of lambda by 2, then we will get the maxima. Then the constructive, then constructive interference, the maxima you will get. Then the constructive interference takes place. So path difference now odd multiple of lambda by 2. Odd multiple of lambda by 2. When the path difference equal to odd multiple of lambda by 2, then constructive interference takes place. Then maxima will form. Hence P is the position of the secondary maxima. Now it is already maxima. Here P is the position of, if it is formed here, if it is formed maxima, it will become secondary maxima. When it is forms a secondary maximum is path difference. The path difference between A and B is the integral multiple of, or odd multiple of lambda by 2. Odd multiple of lambda by 2 means d sine theta n equal to nth bright secondary maxima, equal to odd multiple means 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2 into lambda by 2. Then it is a odd multiple. If you place 0, 1, if you place 1, 2 plus 3, if you place 2, it will become 5 lambda by 2. So this lambda by 2 is odd multiple, either 1, 3, 5, 7, like that. Then it forms the secondary maxima in the Fraunhofer diffraction. Clear? Likita?
Sir?
The Fraunhofer diffraction, if you want to get the secondary minima, then what is the path difference? Path difference here, d sine theta. Path difference should be how much to get the secondary minima?
Sir, lambda.
Lambda. Okay, lambda. If you place the lambda, then you will get. If you want to get the secondary maxima, what is the condition?
2n plus 1 lambda by 2.
Why we are taking 2n plus 1 lambda by 2?
So that we can get odd multiple of lambda by 2.
Yes. So remember like that. you can find easily. Banu Prasad,
Yes, sir.
any doubt, ma?
No, sir. No, sir.
Kushi,
Yes, sir.
clear? Kushi, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This distance, it is nothing but a focal length. From here to here is a focal length. Yes, see. Let's see now. We are going to calculate width of a central maxima. Width of a central maxima. We got the central maxima. What is the width of the central maxima? Just one formula we will get here. Width of the central maxima. Let F is the focal length of lens. F is the focal length of the lens. Which lens? Lens L2. L2 focal length. D is the distance between slit and screen. D is the distance between slit and screen. The distance X is the distance of first minima from both sides of central maxima. X is the distance of first minima on either side of the on either side. Either you can take this side or you can take this side. This X is the distance of the first minima and central maxima. Either you can take this side or you can take this side. Here also one it forms, one more also it will form here, because when I draw the diagram, I told you this line, one more line is equal to that. If you draw one line here, one more line is equal to parallel to that. So this parallel rays will meet at somewhere, this parallel rays will meet somewhere. So in that condition, like that, some of the rays meet here, opposite way, one more also it will form in the same distance. If it is the first minima, here also one more first minima will be there. If it is from the second minima, here we will get the second minima, because for each and every ray there is one more ray combination, like that it will happen. So X is the distance, like that. Now from here, tan theta, let. So from tan theta equal to opposite side. Tan theta, when we are taking tan theta, opposite side by adjacent side. So X by f. X by f. X by f. From sin theta, from there, sin theta equal to opposite side if theta is very small. If theta is very small, then sin theta equal to tan theta. So x by f, here f we can write d, or x we can write d, because f is nothing but focal length. No, just a minute. X is equal to sin theta equal to lambda by d. Sin theta equal to lambda by, from here sin theta is equal to lambda by d. One more, tan theta equal to x by f. If L2 is very close, if L2 is very close to slit, if L2 is, this L2 is very close to slit, then f equal to d. F equal to d. If theta is very small, then equation 1 and equation 2, from if theta is very small, sin theta equal to tan theta, sin theta is lambda by d, tan theta equal to x by d, because since f equal to d, then how it will happen means, this is the condition. From here x is equal to lambda capital D by small d, it is the width of the central maxima. That is the width of the central maxima. And Banu Prasad,
Yes, sir.
is it clear, Banu Prasad?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt here? We are going to get what is the width of this. So if you want to calculate what is the width of the central maxima, f is the focal length that we know of the second length, d is the distance between. So here what will happen means that length is very close to the slit. So what will happen means here d will become f. That's what we have taken. One tan theta equal to opposite side by adjacent side, sin theta equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. From that sin theta we have taken. If theta is very small, sin theta equal to tan theta we have written. Here f place I written d because f equal to d when L2 is very closer to slit. Kushi? Kushi?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I was writing.
Yeah. Is it clear, Kushi?
Yes, sir.
Are any doubt? Then you can ask. Here, width of It is equation 1, equation something 3. Give equation 3. From note.
Sir,
Hello?
sir, I cannot see what's written down.
Okay, okay. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now note, what is the note? From equation 3, from equation 3 is clear. What is clear? Width of central maxima is directly proportional to wavelength lambda. The width of the central maxima is directly proportional to wavelength lambda. That's what you can see. Clear? So central maxima, it is nothing but bright after first minima. Secondary maxima, secondary minima. So what is happening in the diffraction fringes? First one is very big, second one little small, third one small, fourth one small, like that it will decreases. It is dark fringe and bright fringe. Dark. First maxima. Secondary maxima, bright. First maxima it is central bright spot. Minima, secondary minima, like that. So either sides it will form fringes. When you are comparing with this intensity, secondary maxima intensity is less. Next, less. So intensity will decrease like that. Maximum intensity that we know. It is the path difference. Path difference. Bhanu Prasad?
Sir,
Any doubt, ma?
no, sir.
Is it clear, or if you have any doubt,
Sir,
you can.
That central maxima and secondary maxima, how much difference will be, sir?
We know the path difference, right? Path difference are equal only, no?
No, sir, I'm saying intensity.
Intensity is depending on the wavelength. Intensity, what is the intensity between that two?
Yes, sir.
If you want to get that intensity, I equal to a square sine alpha by alpha whole square. We have to follow this intensity. We have to follow that intensity of distribution of diffraction pattern due to a single slit. Diffraction is given like that. Here alpha equal to phi d sine alpha by lambda. Sorry, alpha equal to, right? Alpha equal to phi d by sine theta by basing on the theta. Phi d sine theta by lambda. So intensity of anything, if you want to find, I is equal to a square sine alpha by alpha whole square. Here alpha equal to phi is constant, d is the difference between slits, sine theta, we will get the thetas here, no? Theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, like that, by lambda, wavelength of the light. So by using this, we can find out what are the intensity, how intensity will vary.
Sir, that lambda is wavelength or path distance, sir?
Wavelength of light. Path difference means, path difference is what? D sine theta. It is the path difference. If this path difference equal to lambda, then minima. If this d sine theta equal to 2n plus 1, means odd multiple of lambda by 2, then maxima. That is the reason. So lambda is not a path difference or phase difference. Lambda is wavelength. This is called, we will call as a path difference. Manu Prasad, okay? Lambda is always wavelength. Path difference means whenever we are calculating the sine theta, it gives the path difference. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Clear, ma?
Yes, sir.
Kushi,
Yes, sir.
any doubt?
No, sir.
So when we calculated, when we was calculated Young's double slit experiment fringes, bright fringe and dark fringes, that intensities are different. This intensities what will happen means decreases when you are comparing with central bright fringe. Remaining bright fringes you will get, that will be reduces when you are going far from the central bright fringe. They're not like that. See one problem, numerical problem, numericals basing on the diffraction. That is only diffraction. Problem. Determine angular separation. Determine angular separation between central maxima and the first order maxima of diffraction pattern due to a single slit of width 0.25 millimeters when light of wavelength 6890 angstroms is incident normally. What can we do now to calculate that? What they have given solution: angular separation between central maxima and first order maxima. First order maxima means here n equal to 1. Central maxima we know. Diffraction pattern width they have given. What they give? Maximum first order maxima diffraction pattern, a single slit of width. So slit width d equal to 0.25 into 10 to the power of -3 meters. That's what they have given. Wavelength lambda equal to 6890 into 10 to the power of -8 meters. 10 to the power of -10 meters. That's what they have given. First order they have given. First order nothing but n equal to 1 here. So sine theta or sine d sine theta equal to maxima. When will you get maxima? D sine theta equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. This time you will get a maxima in the single slit experiment. In the single slit experiments, when you are reading the problem, if you are getting the maxima, that means d sine theta. From here d sine theta, here we have to calculate theta. If theta is very small, sine theta equal to theta. If theta is very small, sine theta equal to theta. So we can write the formula. Take this one, equation 1, theta equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2d. So theta equal to n equal to 1. So 3 into 6890 into 10 to the power of minus 10 by 2 into distance of 0.25 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So determine the angular separation. Angular separation means nothing. Angular separation is nothing but d sine theta. So from that we have to take theta. Theta is the wavelength. Sorry, theta is the angle, right? So d sine theta is nothing but path difference. So that path difference equal to this much, then is bright. So here maximum is nothing but bright. So in the single slit experiment, we will get maximum. So from here theta, if you want to calculate, remaining you can arrange. Bhanu Prasad,
Sir,
understand this one?
yes, sir.
When we have to use this formula,
When maxima is
when you are reading the maxima, if they ask minima, third minima, if they ask third minima, what will you do?
d theta is equal to 3 lambda.
D theta equal to
3 lambda.
3 lambda. So from this theta equal to 3 lambda by d, it gives the angular position. Clear? So when you are using minima in the diffraction, in the diffraction pattern, if you want to get a minima, you have to use this formula. D sine theta equal to lambda. D sine theta equal to lambda. This formula you have to use for minima. Maxima means you have to use this formula. Keep in mind. In that only diffraction pattern. So on the minima, write one of the question. Determine the angular separation between let's see. Okay, can I?
So what is that answer, sir? Theta?
How much you're getting? Let's see.
Sir, I got
Sir,
Tell me, ma.
I got 4.13 into 10 to the power minus 3.
4.1
3
into 10 to the power of
minus 3.
Bhanu Prasad, did you get the same thing?
yes, sir.
Then correct. Write the question one more. The direction of third minima in a diffraction pattern. They will mention diffraction pattern produced by light of wavelength 5000 angstroms passing through slit of width is equal to 0.1 millimeter. So now tell me, try to solve that. Tell me the answer. What are the question? First write given lambda equal to 5000 angstroms. We can write 5 into 10 to the power of minus 7 meters. D given 0.1 and third, that means n equal to 3. It is the third one. So minima in the diffraction pattern, minima you will get d sine theta equal to n lambda. Here n equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on like that. So here d theta equal to n lambda, theta equal to n lambda by d. So theta equal to n means 3, lambda means they given 5 into 10 to the power of minus 7 by d is nothing but 0.1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meters. So like that, diffraction pattern, when they are giving maxima and minima, you can use that formula. Just keep in your mind. What is the answer that you will get? Check and tell me.
1.5 into 10 power minus 2.
1.5 into 10 to the power of minus
2.
Sure, huh?
Yes, sir.
3, 15, so into 10 to the power of minus 7 by 1 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So 15 into 10 to the power of correct.
Sir, is it degree or radian, sir?
Radians. So remember like that. This is about the diffraction. Can you say anybody one difference between interference and diffraction? Can anybody can say one difference between diffraction and interference? In the interference also fringes will form. Maxima, minima will form. In the diffraction also maxima, minimas will form. But what is the difference between these two?
Sir, in interference, two sources is required, sir.
Interference, two sources will form. Even we can take single also.
Sir, single means superposition. How, sir?
Single source we will take. So we will take two slits, right? Source is single. Slits are two.
So it will act like two sources, no, sir?
Yes, it acts as a two sources. That is one difference. Next, one more. One more. Very good. One more.
Sir,
Sainika.
is it the lens?
Okay, lens here we will use where we don't use lens like that. Eh?
Yeah.
One more.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, in interference fringes, they have same width.
Yes, same width. Here in diffraction,
Sir, in other diffraction, they might not have, sir. I don't.
say it will it vary. No, just now I shown you one of the diagram I shown. Here maximum intensity, minimum intensity, minimum intensity, minimum intensity. So whatever the fringes forming due to the diffraction, so intensity will vary. First central bright fringe, how much intensity is there? First maxima, that much intensity won't be there. It will reduce in the diffraction. But in the interference pattern, intensities won't vary. In interference pattern, all maxima having same intensity. All minima having same intensity. But here, intensities will vary.
Sir,
Tell me, ma.
sir, bright fringes are same, no, sir, in interference?
Yes, bright fringes are same. Same intensity for each and every bright fringe. But here, each and every bright fringe will vary. If central it having more intensity, next one is less. One more, very less. One more, very less. Like that, intensities will vary in the diffraction. And interference bands are larger in number of bands will be there in the interference. When we are talking about interference, so many bands will be there. But when we are talking about the diffraction, only less number of bands will be there. Interference pattern. And in the interference, bands spread equally. These bands will spread equal. But in the diffraction pattern, bands won't spread equally. If it is this much distance, here distance will reduce. Here distance will reduce. So the difference distance between the bands will vary. Here bands difference will be same. Bands are equally spreaded here. Bands are unequally spreaded in the diffraction. Okay, remember these points. So this is about diffraction. In the diffraction, two types of diffractions are there, Fresnel and Fraunhofer. We have even discussed about what are the differences between that two. So in our syllabus, we have Fraunhofer diffraction. In the Fraunhofer diffraction, we have used two lenses to get the diffraction pattern. So in the diffraction pattern, when we are getting here, first maximum, we will get central maxima. After secondary maxima. In the even minimum, secondary minima. So like that, even minimas we will get. When we will get the maximum, when we will get the minima, path difference is lambda, then minima. If path difference is odd number, multiplication of odd number into lambda by 2, you will get maxima. So you have to remember like that. That is what you have to remember in this lesson. Okay? Manu Prasad, understand clearly?
Yes.
Once again, you have to read. Then if you get doubts, you can ask. If you don't read, then you can't get any doubts. So when I'm explaining, when you are writing, you can feel that everything is easy. But once if you close your book, when you are reading, you will get so many doubts. That doubts, if you get clarification, then subject will remain in your mind ever. So read carefully, okay? So Wednesday also no test because polarization. One more topic is there to complete this lesson. So no test. I'm going to complete this lesson on Wednesday. Okay. See you in the next class, ma.
No test, sir.
No test. Because one more topic is there to complete this lesson. Okay. See you in the next class, everyone.
Thank you, sir.